Last week on the Oval in Cayuga, late in the race, Kenny Wilden was on the way to his first Players Limited GM Motorsport victory. In the final laps, Richard Spinard made contact with Wilden, ending his hopes of that elusive first win. Wilden thought Spinard had made a mistake in trying to hold the low line when he couldn't. Spinard claimed he was pushed. After a confrontation in the pits, the crowd booed the veteran Spinard. Is the King losing favor with Canadian motorsport fans?
When you're in front of an audience like that, that's Winston Cup kind of NASCAR crowd, and the Tide car gets banged on the second last lap and taken out of the race, I think they'd probably boo anybody who did that.
I have a job to do, and my job is to win the race. And if his job is to take me off because he feels I took him off in Cayuga, that's his right, but I'll be prepared.
This week, the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series drivers are east of Montreal on the streets of Rivieres. They must now shift their mindset from the smooth speed of the oval to the quick technical turns and concrete walls of the street course. Concentration is critical here. There's no room in the drivers' heads for thoughts of retaliation. Or is there? The GM Motorsport Hour, brought to you by General Motors of Canada Limited and by Quality GM Parts, Players Limited of Canada, Priority Courier, and Sony of Canada. Welcome to a damp Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières in Quebec for the 9th round of the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series. Hello, I'm Jim Paulson. This is an intimidating course with the concrete and tire walls. The first corner is a 90-degree turn. Under these conditions, that could be extremely interesting. Let's go to the pits and our co-host of the show, Paul Chater.
Thank you, Jim. We've just learned that the race has been officially declared wet, meaning the drivers now have enough time to change onto their wet weather tires. If they choose, they can stay on their dry tires, and that's a big question because although it's raining lightly right now, we're not sure whether it's going to last or not. And if the drivers do change to wet tires, they can't come into the pits during the middle of the race to change to dries without losing a lot of time. All weekend, the weather has been clear. Both the practice sessions and the qualifying have been held in the dry. If it continues to rain, the drivers will experience an entirely different racetrack.
I prefer a dry track because I just find that you can be more aggressive and it's more fun to drive in the dry, but I don't have any trouble with the rain either.
So I enjoy racing in the rain. We've never been on this track in the rain, so it would be very, very interesting to see what happens. It's going to be really interesting here if it's raining simply because of the amount of concrete around here. It's very unforgiving. You have to worry about sliding a little bit too much, and since we're playing very, very close to the walls here, we could have a lot of body damage because of the slippery conditions.
I'm hoping for it, to be honest with you. I tend to be more competitive relative to the other competitors when it's raining than when it isn't.
It's not going to rain. It's not going to last. That's my strategy.
Well, you get the impression Kenny Wilden isn't too thrilled with racing in the rain. Paul, what is happening down there?
Jim, a quick update here in the pits. There was a mad flurry during the rain to switch over to rain tires. Now it's dried up a little bit. It's still officially a wet race, but every car on the grid has switched back to their dry weather tires. This start could be pretty interesting.
So, while the drivers get suited up and ready to pull out onto the track, let's take a look at the starting grid. 18 identically prepared Camaros and Firebirds will take to the track today. Starting at the back of row 9, Toronto's Sean Grossman. And beside him, hometown boy, Richard Waugh. We'll see if he has an advantage here at home. John Kyle Jr. starts in row 8 in his 1991 Camaro. Next to him, New Liskeard, Ontario's Paul Lawler driving Camaro number 57. Another local hero, Renault Hamlin's Firebird outside row 7. Beside the number 6 Camaro driven by Larry Caruso. Jeff Lapsovich is on row 6. He's from Ancaster, Ontario. Starts beside the number 7 Camaro of Chris Davies. Chris leading the rookie standings right now. Second in the rookie standings, Joe Lapsovich Jr., who starts just ahead on row 5, and beside him is Doug Beatty Jr. trying to lock up 6th spot for the shootout this year. Row 4 has 2 contenders for the 6th overall spot. Peter Cohen of Montreal and Pickering, Ontario's Terry Betts. Terry's the teammate of this week's Sunoco Gold Fast qualifier, Rob Fellows, who currently holds 3rd place in the championship points, needs good results from the remaining 2 races. Tom Cunningham of Sunoco presenting Rob with his 2nd award in as many races. John Cadman Jr. starts next to Fellows in row 3. John had bad luck in the first half of the season, but he's come on strong now in the last half. Last year's Rookie of the Year and one of this year's major championship contenders, Kenny Wilden, will start on row 2 next to his arch rival and on-track sparring partner, Richard Spinard. They've spent most races door handle to door handle. This week they start side by side. Outside in the front row, David Embringham. He's only 3 points behind series leader Spinard. A win here would put him solidly ahead of his teammate. And on the pole, last year's shootout winner, Robin Buck. He's had problems this year. He's currently 5th overall.
The cars are rolling off in their pace lap, and we'll be right back with the start of the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series race from the streets of Rivieres.
Welcome back to Trois-Rivières, Quebec for the 9th round of the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series. I'm Jim Polson with our co-host Paul Jader.
Yeah, we're waiting for the green flag to start. Will be interesting. Remember, all the cars are on dry tires, but it's started to rain again. The first corner will be critical.
The green flag drops, and look at the field all making their moves, but Robin Buck has got it leading into corner 1. Spinard beside him will pull into second place there, Paul.
The track is very wet as they come out of turn 1. Quick dive down into corner 2, which is a hard braking turn and slightly downhill. Look at this. Robin Buck in the lead. Right behind him, David Embringham now in second place. Richard Spinard sitting in third in car number 42, and Terry Betts is sideways.
Terry sideways, 2-3 cars trying to get around on the inside of this track, and Terry pulls the car around. Looks like one of them is going to be totally out of here. In fact, as the pursuit vehicle comes by, here's a replay, Paul.
Let's have a look. There's Betts. He may have been forced in car number 3. You see now, he's managed to collect Lapsovich. Lapsovich throws Caruso into the wall. Poor Paul Lawler, number 57, got the worst of that deal.
Boy, I'll tell you, he brings it in badly damaged on the left-hand side, and without even completing a lap, Lawler's out of it, and Robin Buck is in the lead.
You can see the wipers are on. The track isn't soaked yet, but it's pretty slippery. Robin Buck, number 34, out front. Behind him, David Embringham in car number 45. His teammate and boss, Richard Spinard, sitting in third spot. There's Kenny Wilden in fourth, and John Cadman in 5th place. And surprisingly, all the way back is Rob Fellows in 6th. But the top 6 cars are pulling away.
You know, it's interesting with Kenny Wilden doing as well as he is now. Let's look toward the rear from Robin Buck's car. Look at this. Door handle. The teammates are having a go at each other there.
The teammates literally exchanging some paint, and Richard Spinard's not giving up. There's John Cadman Jr., number 71. He's right up on Kenny Wilden in the tie car, number 17. Robin Buck, 34, in the lead as they come down to complete the first lap.
So the Firebird is out in front of the Camaros at this stage. There's Embringham. Spinard, number 42, comes by. Again, the head-on shot of Robin Buck leading this field, and it would appear the spray is getting a little stronger. I think a little more rain falling here, Paul.
Look at the back here. Rob Fellows having a look inside number 71, John Cadman Jr., but he just didn't have enough room to get by him, and a big slide coming out of that turn. Inside now with Rob Fellows. Watch his hands on the wheel. We can see how much the car is sliding when he comes out of the turn. Look very carefully. His hands resting on the wheel. He's not struggling with the car at this point.
This is Wilden's wing cam, I understand. We got Kenny running 4th. He's watching John Cadman holding off Rob Fellows. No, Fellows is going to work on Cadman now. Up the back, straight away, they're side by side.
Fellows got out of that last corner very cleanly. He didn't slide as much as Cadman, so he should have more speed down the straight. It's showing here he's got Cadman before they even get to the braking zone.
There's no question. The spray is getting stronger here. We can spot that, of course, from the rear of Kenny's car. And Rob Fellows with a beautiful pass there on Cadman.
Getting awfully close to that wall. You can see how much the cars are sliding around, and sections of the track that have been repaved look wetter than the old sections, and indeed they are slipperier as they brake very hard down into second gear through the Depailler corner, a tough left-hander coming out of it. Watch now as they come out the sidewalk there on the right-hand side of the track. They're running right up onto the sidewalk. That's not a speed curve, by the way.
I note that Kenny Wilden's the only one with the headlights on, and fortunately they are even masked, but he may be concerned the fog is going to set in or something. Robin slides literally coming back to this corner.
This is a very slippery part of the track. You can see they're all getting a little tailspin as they come out of that corner. There's Robin Buck, number 34, heavy under braking into turn 1. It's really starting to rain now.
The wipers are on full blast, and look at this pass now as
Rob Fellows. He's got by Kenny Wilden in car number 17. A nice clean pass under braking into turn 1. It's a great move. That's a difficult corner in the rain.
You know, the lines are really radical here, and early right off the top, it seems to be Kenny Wilden who's sliding away the most. We understand everyone are on dry tires. Gambling, as Rob slides away here, that things are going to improve as we go along, Paul.
Marshall's showing the blue flag, but I'm sure Rob Fellows knows Kenny Wilden is right with him and trying to stay on the attack. Kenny Wilden's performances this summer have been excellent. 1989 was his first season in this series, and in only 1 year, he has become one of the dominant forces on the track. We've seen him battle the veterans race after race this summer. This week, we take a look at Kenny Wilden up close.
26-year-old Burlington, Ontario native Kenny Wilden, driving a number 17 1991 Camaro, enters his second year of competition in the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series.
It takes a lot of money to run these cars and to run competitively, and Ty, last year saw how I ran Rookie of the Year, and we ran one race for them at the shootout last year and did very well, second place. So they decided to back us, and that definitely helps because last year, you're running on a very tight budget. At times you got to back off and not maybe go at it as hard as you'd like to go. So this year, I have no worries about that because Ty's behind me 100%, and we're going to go for it.
In addition to the 89 rookie honors, Kenny finished an impressive second place in the East-West Shootout and received a $10,000 purse. But what does it take to win like Wilden?
You need to have a good school. You've got to have a lot of time on the track, and then take a few years and get some practice, and then move into this series. And that's what it takes, is a lot of hard work and a lot of good mental preparation.
With consistent performance and the now recognizable aggressive racing form of Kenny Wilden, keep your eyes on that electric orange number 17 Camaro as Kenny Wilden rides his racing tide to victory in 1990.
Well, Rob Fellows leads Kenny Wilden as we rejoin the race action here on lap 5. And in fact, I would say Kenny seems to be dropping off the pace. Not a great runner in the rain here, Paul.
Well, he hasn't had much experience in the rain, and this is the first rain race of 1990. There's our leader, Robin Buck, in the red car, number 34. And Robin's starting to pull out. This field stretching out a bit as the rain gets heavier. We can see how bad the spray is behind these cars. There's Robin Buck, really close to that wall.
We were just timing it. The gap from first to fifth place is only about 6 seconds at this point, despite the wet conditions. But the leaders are stretching it out a little bit now, Paul.
There's Robin Buck. Look at that car slide under braking. Oh, big slide. He's got the wheels locked up. There goes David Empringham on the inside, number 45. Empringham took advantage of that big mistake from Robin Buck to take over the lead. Richard Spinard back in third in the other Motomaster car. That's Rob Fellows running in fourth.
Oh, look at this now. Will Robin Buck try to fight back? Empringham is by him strongly, and no, in fact, pulls away by about a car length or two. Oh, big slide now out of him as he comes back to what at this point appears to be about the slipperiest part of the course, Paul.
Yeah, Kenny Wilden, car number 17 there, the tide car, big slide. Look at John Catton Jr. over the speed curve. He almost collects the orange pylon at the edge of the track.
Well, let's have a look at our leaderboard. After 5 laps, David Empringham, our race leader, Robin Buck, Spinard right behind him, followed by Fellows and Wilden, and we'll be right back with more race action. Back to a damp Rivieres, Quebec. The rain really coming down now, making this 9th round of the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series a very slippery race. They're working lap 6.
And the leader is number 45, David Empringham. Number 34, Robin Buck, is pushing him very hard on the fastest portion of the course. They're on the Boulevard du Carmel right now, heading into a very tough left-hander, heavy under braking. You can see Robin Buck trying to out-brake Empringham on this wet track, through the left-hander and out onto the Rue de Colon.
Now we should get some top speeds out of them here as they come into this straightaway. Spinard gets right up against that wall. So does Rob Fellows and Kenny Wilden.
David Empringham still in command. Now watch as they brake heavily here into the Patrick Depailler corner. Bad bumps on the right-hand side of the track. Slide all the way through, up onto the sidewalk, heading into the Ryan corner, named after the late, great Peter Ryan. Look at Spinard.
It's about the one area of the track, I think, Paul, where you can really allow that much runoff time, and they're all using it early in the race.
Bernard had his wheels in the dirt that time, though. Look at this. Robin Buck is pulled right up tight behind Empringham. Big slide out of both of them.
Well, Robin maintains control. They come down the front straight one more time to the start-finish line. Those windshield wipers are hard at work, and Empringham continues to lead back into corner one.
Along the avenue, Gilles Villeneuve through turn one. Slide close to the wall. Robin Buck is using all the road here. Corner two. Down a slight hill, and they're heading towards the Duplessis gate. Psychologically, that's a very challenging part of the course. That gate makes the track look much narrower than it really is.
Out of the arch, and they head back onto the boulevard briskly up to this little sharp left-hand corner, and Robin Buck is not letting Empringham get away.
Flat out, working up through the gears. Robin Buck now on the Boulevard du Carmel. He's going to try it again. He moves to the inside, under braking. Empringham sliding the car around a little, locked his wheels up, and Robin Buck's got the lead.
Well, that time it was Empringham who hydroplaned just a touch on the application of brakes at the corner. Now can David hold on to Buck on this straightaway?
Robin Buck really seems to have this track mastered in the rain. Watch him as he tries to stay off the bumps a little bit. Whoa, he didn't that time. His right rear wheel bouncing up and down, and that's got to cause some control problems. We can see Empringham using all the road. There goes Spinard again. One wheel in the dirt, followed by Rob Fellows back in fourth place. Look at him.
Robin Buck misses his braking, slides off into the runoff area. He has slipped back into fourth spot here, but does get out ahead of Kenny Wilden.
That quickly, he lost 3 places. It shows you how competitive this series is. There's the leader, David Empringham. Richard Spinard taking a little shorter line through the corner. Then Rob Fellows, then Robin Buck.
And a big cheer, deservedly so, for the Motormaster team.
There's Richard Waugh, the number 23 Firebird, in trouble, spinning out in corner 5. Richard is one of 2 drivers from Trois-Rivières. His teammate, Renaud Damlen, in the number 13 Firebird, also calls this historic city home. Today we'll look at Trois-Rivières, home to the oldest street course in North America. Trois-Rivières is located where the St. Lawrence and Saint-Maurice rivers meet. With a population of more than 50,000 people, it is a fascinating mix of old and new. It is home to the only Westminster-style church in North America, dating back to 1858. A popular tourist area, the city contains many parks, museums, and concert halls, which are witness to the rich culture and pride of the French roots of Quebec. The racetrack surrounds the Trois-Rivières Fairgrounds. This street course was the first of its kind in North America and saw a young Gilles Villeneuve race Formula Atlantic. It's a very difficult and technical track, like most street courses. David Empringham took us for an instructional tour around the track. We have a camera pointed at his feet to look at the heel and toe technique used here by the drivers.
Coming down the front straightaway, we're up to 4th gear. It's a fairly long straightaway, which has a fairly tight corner in corner 1 where we're downshifting 1 gear to 3rd gear. Through corner 1 we stay in 3rd gear, also through corner 2 where we come up to a very tight left-hander where there's a big archway where we have to have a quick braking zone down to 2nd gear, and then we're through the arches and up the back straightaway. Up the back straightaway we got up to 4th gear, and approaching corner 4 it's a very long braking zone where we'll be downshifting 2 gears to 2nd gear and actually using a bit of the compression of the engine to help us slow down. It's a place where the brakes get extremely hot, and it's very important to try and preserve your brakes there and not overheat them. Go along another fairly long straightaway where we'll be up to 4th gear again. Approaching corner 5 where we have a short braking zone, downshifting 3rd gear, and come along a very short straightaway before this hairpin, which is corner 6. A very tight corner where we're downshifting to 2nd gear from 3rd. Come through the hairpin, quickly upshift to 3rd gear for a split second, and then back down to 2nd again for another tight corner, which brings us onto the front straightaway. I definitely think the way to win this race will be to conserve my brakes and yet be aggressive in the corners.
As you can see, this is hardly a casual Sunday drive around historic Trois-Rivières.
We're back in lap 9. David Empringham, the race leader, a salute to his sense of humor, by the way, on that last tour ball, but he's got a nice lead at this stage in the day.
And his teammate, Richard Spinard, is back in 2nd place and falling further behind, which is a surprise. Empringham's well in command. And Rob Fellows just passed by Robin Buck, number 34. Now looking out the back of Buck's car as Rob Fellows prepares to punch back.
Well, Robin may have made a little error earlier, but now he is truly putting back. Didn't take too long to recatch Rob Fellows, and now, of course, he's after the Motormaster team one more time.
The sole Firebird amongst all those Camaros. Robin Buck back into third place in the Pringles car, number 34. Trailing Richard Spinard in the Motomaster car. There's Rob Fellows in car number 2, sitting in fourth spot.
Okay, let's have a look at the face cam here. Watch Rob Fellows at work in the office, and he really seems totally at ease here.
Well, the technique to use in the rain is to be really light with the car on all the controls. You see, he's not ramming the gear lever. He's hanging very lightly onto the steering wheel down Avenue Gilles Villeneuve here, going into turn 1, downshifting twice. Very calm with his driving.
Yeah, the fact is he's hard at work on Robin Buck directly in front of him, but oh, there he goes a little sideways. Does not lose a spot, though. Here's the leaderboard after 9 laps. David Empringham, the race leader, then Spinard, Buck, Fellows, and Wilden will be right back with more race action. We're back in Trois Rivieres with Ron Fellows, watching his brother Rob in this round of the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series. Ron, the reigning champion. I'm Jim Paulson with Paul Chater, watching our race leaders get up on the curbing again, Paul.
Working lap 10 of 25 laps. It's our first rain race in 1990, and it's proving to be pretty interesting. Kenny Wilden, who has been so strong this summer, is falling off the pace, and Robin Buck, who's been having trouble lately in the dry, has been very strong here. He's running in third behind number 42, Richard Spinard, and number 45, David Empringham, down the Villeneuve straight.
I would think Spinard is about to make his move here, and his teammate, in fact, he does on the outside of the track. He has got a good line and is going to fool Empringham diving into corner 1. He's got him.
Well, the chief instructor of the Spinard David Racing School has just taken on his employee and won that one. Look at this. Rob Fellows continues to slide through that turn. He's sitting in fourth place. There's our new leader, Richard Spinard, number 42. Empringham behind him. Robin Buck hanging on to third. And Rob Fellows seems to have fallen off the pace a bit in fourth.
So we have a new race leader in Richard Spinard, who won this event last year when these cars finally returned to this street course. And look at car 11, Doug Beatty, just ahead of John Cadman.
These two are also battling each other in the points. There are only 6 spots open for the shootout race. The top 5 positions are pretty well locked up. But there are 3 or 4 guys who have a chance at 6th. Terry Betts and Peter Cohen have an outside chance. Beatty currently has the position, but with luck, Cadman could catch him.
I would think I have to finish, definitely have to finish in the top 3 today in the last race of Motorsport. I have to qualify also in the top 3 of Motorsport. And I think guys like Doug Beatty, who would be my major competition for that 6th spot, would have to make a big mistake in the next 2 races.
John Cadman Jr., he's one you got to watch out. Coming off a big win at Toronto, this was I was happy for him, but then again, I have to be concerned at the same time.
And at this time, John Cadman Jr. makes the move on the inside and blows Doug Beatty Jr. away. Number 71 is by 11 and up into 6th place.
Back with the leader. Look at this. Robin Buck having a run at David Empringham for 2nd place. Off the Villeneuve straight. He outbreaks him, and he's got him. Robin Buck in 2nd place. A slide close to the wall. Empringham's going to fight back, though.
Boy, they're back and forth here, all depending on that line. Track is not drying out at all at this stage. In fact, the rain continues, but Robin Buck now pretty assured of holding on to this spot.
Now we have to watch to see if Buck can close those 3-4 car lengths up to the leader, to Richard Spinard in car number 42, as they come up onto some slower traffic.
Here's the race for 10th place overall. We're looking at Terry Betts here in number 3. The man just ahead of him is, in fact, Joe Lapsevich Jr. in number 33, and they've got their own little war a little further back, and Betts has got the headlamps on.
Terry Betts went from 7th to 14th place when he spun on lap 1. Joe Lapsevich is currently 2nd in the rookie standings. Down the Boulevard de Carmel, inside with Terry Betts now in car number 3. Watch as they brake. Look at this. Lapsevich gets the car pretty squirrely under braking. Car number 33. Out on the Rue de Colonne now. 2 very different lines coming out of this corner. Terry Betts used the whole road. Lapsevich chose to stay closer to the inside. That should affect their top speed down the straight here as they head into the Paillet corner. We can see Betts downshifting. He looks into the corner. Very gentle left-hand turn.
Terry Betts hard at work, and he is working on Joe Lapsevich here, the number 33 Tim Horton entry, and in fact is right up on his bumper now, makes a move, and goes by as Joe bobbles it on the outside of the course.
There's his dad, Joe Lapsevich Sr., standing there talking on the mic. I wonder what he's saying to his son right now.
Let's get back with our race leaders. That race leader, in fact, is Richard Spinard, Robin Buck, then David Empringham, and Rob Fellows comes by.
Rob Fellows has closed the gap. It's now a 4-car race for the lead. There's Robin Buck, 34. David Empringham at 45. Out onto the Rue de Colon, Rob Fellows in 4th spot in car number 2, and they've really closed up a lot, and they're coming up onto some slower traffic.
Now, this could be a factor as well in the dam when it comes to some of these slower cars on the course. Are they going to be a factor? We're looking at Sean Grossman, for example, who's at least trying to stay out of the line of these race leaders' ball.
Boy, he is watching his mirrors. That's a very courteous move. He's moved right to the inside. He's still got his brakes on and lets everybody through. Look at David Empringham right up close to the wall. Now we should see how this affects the speed down the straight. Empringham gets a little slide out of Fellows, but it looks like he's got a higher speed down the straight. Now they're trying to go around Sean Grossman. He gets out of the way. Here goes Rob Fellows under braking. He's up on the inside. Empringham in a big puddle.
Rob again takes advantage of corner 1, and Empringham tries to tuck in on him there. In fact, I did not want Rob to get by, obviously.
Nice move comment from our cameraman, Claude Carapy, on that corner. He's enjoying this as much as we are.
Robin Buck is closing the score out. He's won before in the past in the dam, but I tell you, he's been struggling lately. Says he likes the rain. He won the shootout race last year, now running 5th overall in the standings. With all the talent barking at his heels, does he worry about this year's shootout?
I feel pretty secure at 5th. It's not a great place to be. I'd rather be right up at the front, but no, I don't think I'll be bumped down to the top 6. But, you know, hopefully I can stay close enough to Kenny that maybe I can get up into 4th.
I must admit, with Robin Buck, there were a couple of moments there where we thought he may even lose out of the shootout shot this year, but not today at Trois-Rivières.
With 13 laps complete in this race, Richard Spinard is a Goodyear mid-race leader. That's worth a set of tires and some cash from the folks at Goodyear.
Richard Spinard has had great luck, in fact, leading at these halfway points this season. He may open a tire shop soon out in Shannonville, Paul.
There's Rob Fellows, number 2, running in 3rd spot, and he's really closed up on the leaders.
Let's have a look at the leaderboard after 13 laps. Spinard, Buck, Fellows, Empringham, Wilden. More race action after this. The Players Limited Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières is North America's oldest street race. What year was it founded? A, 1976, B, 1970, or C, 1967?
The first Trois-Rivières Grand Prix was a race for open-class production cars. It was won by Jacques Duvall in 1967.
If one race at Trois-Rivières is considered a classic, it would be the 1976 Formula Atlantic event. The entry list included James Hunt, Bobby Rahal, Danny Sullivan, Alan Jones, Vittorio Brambilla, and Gilles Villeneuve. Who won?
By beating 3 Grand Prix stars and 2 future winners of the Indy 500, Gilles Villeneuve captured the attention of the European Formula One team. Within a year, Villeneuve was driving for Ferrari.
We're back in lap 15 at Trois-Rivières, and the line drying slightly as the race continues, Paul.
10 laps to go in this 25-lap event. There's leader Richard Spinard, number 34. Robin Buck behind him. Then a gap back to Rob Fellows in 3rd spot. And David Empringham, number 45, has fallen off the pace in 4th spot.
Now some of the windshield wipers are still working here on 1 or 2 of our competitors, but in fact the rainfall is pretty well stopped, and they're getting a little clearer run at this course now.
You can see they're getting very close to the wall. The car's still sliding around. The track is still damp. It's still quite slippery, actually, but the line is beginning to dry.
Richard Spinard leading. There's Robin Buck's crew looking a little tense at this point. When is Robin going to make his move? He'll do it now, in fact, on the outside of the track, but the inside of the corner into corner 1.
Robin Buck side by side with Spinard. Look at this as they come out close to the wall. Almost touching. Rob Fellows trying to take advantage of the fact that Spinard and Buck are fighting. He's going to try to get Robin Buck on the inside of turn 2.
I can't imagine Rob really wanting to be a sandwich between those two, and now he decides to stay on the inside. No, he'll tuck in behind them.
Great flurry of activity, but the positions haven't changed at all. But they have tightened up quite a bit. David Empringham in 4th place the whole time sitting back, watching these 3 go at each other. There goes Spinard, Buck, Fellows, and Empringham in 4th spot.
The 4 really running away from the rest of the field in this event. Robin had a peek there, but decides, no, not quite yet. But you get the feeling that he's setting something up here.
but it's difficult to pass under braking when the line is starting to dry out. To do that, you've got to move to the inside on the wet portion of the track, and it makes it very difficult to try to outbrake a driver who's on the dry portion. Watch as they head into the Depailler corner. No one trying to outbrake anyone through this turn, even though it is drying quite a bit, but they slide all the way out to the outside up onto the sidewalk. The 4 cars now very tight formation.
Robin Buck again is going to go for our race leader and does not quite pull it off in the corner.
Around the outside, an unusual move. Unless he's planning something, he's taken another different line through this corner as well. He's obviously looking for some straight line speed down the straightaway, trying to get the car straighter sooner so that he can go past Spinard on the straight. Now he's going to try it on the outside. He's on the dry part of the course. Spinard's on the wet part.
And is it going to work on Spinard? No, Richard does not want to give this one away. And again, they are door handle to door handle.
And Robin Buck's got the lead at turn 2, number 34. A beautiful maneuver. He actually planned that pass 4 corners ago. He really set Spinard up for that one.
Now it looks like Rob Fellows is doing what he can to set up Richard. He is tucked up on the bumper now, and Ebringham wants to be part of this war as well.
Down the boulevard to Carmel, the fastest portion of this course. Robin Buck already stretching out his lead. There goes David Ebringham. He's going to try Rob Fellows now. Fellows has got his tires in the damp as well, and there goes Ebringham on the inside. He's got him. Oh, and they touched a little bit. Once, twice, maybe 3 times.
Well, okay, Rob finally had to give way to David Ebringham, who got by in the Motormaster entry. Now Rob has another go, and no, he does not have any success in that battle against Ebringham. Robin Buck, though, in the meantime, is beginning to run away a little bit from the trio.
Robin Buck driving very cleanly through here, and he's stretching out over Spinard in second place. Ebringham, meanwhile, has his hands full with Rob Fellows. Whoa, look at this. Fellows on the inside, almost a little tap. Ebringham way wide, but Ebringham is in a better position as they head out onto the Villeneuve Straight.
Well, again, poor Rob, he got the rear end out, which is exactly what Ebringham does there, and now Rob tries to take advantage.
Okay, Ebringham, the bobble, it cost him some straight line speed. Fellows is taking advantage, and he's got him going into turn 1.
Rob Fellows moving to the 3rd spot of the number 2 Sunoco entry, and David Ebringham will settle for 4th for a little while. Boy, Kenny Wilden's gang do not look that happy as we watch Kenny in the Tide car coming in. He's not having a good time in the wet here at Quality Air.
It's difficult for a rookie driver to compete with these masters in the rain.
Let's go from last year's Rookie of the Year, which was Kenny Wilden, to this battle. This is for 10th spot overall. Number 7, Chris Davies here, and number 33, Joe Lapsovich Jr. right behind him. They're, in fact, fighting for the rookie honors in 1990.
Davies currently leads the rookie point standings. He raced in another series last year, so he's had some experience, but he didn't expect to do quite so well his first year out in the Players Limited GM Motorsport Series, especially with the caliber of drivers found in this series all the way through the pack. He's had some great finishes this year.
Young Joe Lapsovich Jr. here, number 33, though, is dogging Chris right now. He's one car, the 2-car Tim Horton team, and his brother Jeff has been in the series for a number of years, helped Joe on and off the track. Joe is currently 2nd in the rookie standings, behind Davies. In fact, the first year good finish should be a thrill to these drivers, but what does it mean to a young racing career?
It means a lot. This is racing has been a dream from a distance of mine for a long time. And I think I'm showing to myself this year that with some additional experience and some more races, that I will have hopefully a chance of making something out of it. Exactly what that will be, I'm not sure. But no question, the Rookie of the Year, if that happens, and if I'm able to finish in the top 10, which is really my goal, and I'm in a battle to do that right now, it will be helpful for sure.
I had one good one at Cayuga, was the 4th. Other than that, I'm always back, 10th, 11th, 12th kind of thing. So those 5th and 6th that Chris got really gave him a big jump on me. So he's a fair bit ahead. He's going to be hard to catch. There's only 2 races left.
Chris Davies leads the war at this point. Joe Lapsovich Jr., though, hangs on to him.
And he's not giving up at all. Look at the damage to the side of Chris Davies' car. It's been a tough race. Little slide there from Lapsovich, but he's got the line going into the turn, under braking through the arch, and he really did put a good pass on Chris Davies.
Marvelous fight there, but let's go back to the fight for the lead, and they're coming up on some slower traffic now. In fact, that's Richard Waugh now sitting in the 2nd spot right behind Robin Buck, our race leader.
Inside with Richard Spinard, that's Jeff Lapsovich directly in front of him. They're about to put him a lap down. and Richard Roy in front of Jeff Lapsevich, and then the leader, Robin Buck, is the third car ahead in that sequence. Spinard's going to have problems getting by the slower traffic. Whoa, they pushed Lapsevich right out into the dirt.
Well, now Richard was the only one they have to worry about. And the big Lapsevich is going to just let them go.
There's David Empringham, number 45, trailing Rob Fellows in car number 2. And they still have to get around Richard Roy. Meanwhile, Robin Buck is running away with the lead.
There's Robin Buck, our race leader. Richard Roy suddenly has a little burst of inspiration here with all these race leaders around him, Paul.
Rob Fellows trying to go inside Spinard to grab second place, but they just didn't have enough room. And they've got to set their sights on, whoa, David Empringham a slide. They have to set their sights on getting around the slower traffic. Richard Roy is sticking to the line, so it's up to the drivers to find a way through. Heading down towards the arch now. Blue flags being waved at Richard Roy, telling him to get out of the way. There's Spinard 42. He's through. Rob Fellows right with him. Now David Empringham is being slowed.
Keep an eye on Empringham. He should move to the inside. In fact, he does. Roy gets right out of the way and lets Empringham by.
And here comes Rob Fellows on strong, trying to go on the inside of Richard Spinard. Oh, and he's on the wet part of the track. He locked his brakes up. He almost collected Spinard. He slid right off the road. He's on the escape road. That's going to cost him dearly.
You know, it's amazing, actually. He didn't take Spinard out on that one, but what beautiful driving by Richard and recovering through there.
Richard was just flat lucky, I think, that he didn't get collected. Now he's got David Empringham right behind him. Let's look at it again. You can see Spinard's on the dry portion of the track. Fellows is on the wet portion, trying to outbrake. He can't do it. He's got a terminal understeer. The car's sliding. He just tags Spinard as he slides off onto the escape road.
Richard extremely lucky there wasn't more damage to the left front of that car in that incident, but he's still safely in second spot overall here with Empringham right on his tail.
And Rob Fellows has fallen way back in fourth spot. Now he has to get around Richard Roy one more time.
Let's have a look at our leaderboard after 20 laps down here at Trois-Rivières. It's Robin Buck, our race leader, then Spinard, Empringham, Fellows, Wilden. We'll be back with the finish. We're back at the Grand Prix de Trois-Rivières with Robin Buck's crew anticipating a win. He has really stretched his lead out here late in the race, even though he's up on the curbing there.
Well, the rain has started lightly again just after the circuit really started to get dry. There's second place, number 42, Richard Spinard, number 45, David Empringham, his teammate running in third spot, and still a long gap back to Rob Fellows, who's trying to make up some ground after that mistake trying to pass Spinard.
The 21st of 25 laps that they're working here at Trois-Rivières, and Richard Spinard looks good in front. Here's the other war between, well, Doug Beatty's still trying to catch John Cadman Jr., number 71.
These two drivers fighting it out in the point standings to see who gets to be in the shootout at the end of the season. At the moment, John Cadman Jr. has an advantage. Let's go inside now with Doug Beatty Jr. as they go down the Villeneuve Straight heading into turn one.
Actually, visibility not that great, so you're right, Paul. The rain has started again here at Trois-Rivières, and Doug Beatty doing what he can to not only hold on to Cadman, he wants by.
There's a very thin, dry line, which you can see around the circuit. They're trying to stay on that to reduce some of the sliding around on the circuit. Now down the hill towards the Duplessis gate, brakes on, down into second gear. It's a very tight corner, heading out onto the fastest portion of the track. Watch Doug Beatty Jr.'s hands, how light they are on the steering wheel. Oh, he gets a little slide there in the left-hand kink. He managed to correct it as he chases John Cadman down the fastest portion of the course here.
Just enough of a bobble to give Cadman a little bit of a lead. John slams the brakes on here. Now can Beatty take advantage? He's obviously doing what he can to size him up. They come through the corner. He tries to go to the inside. Maybe Beatty will make his move now. Nope. He tucks in once more.
Out onto the Rue de Cologne. He's behind number 71, John Cadman Jr. Requires a very light touch on the steering wheel and on the brake pedal. You can see how soon Cadman gets on the brakes to go into the Paillet corner.
Oh,
Beatty following him through. Let's see if he uses the sidewalk. Yeah, all of it. Oh, and a little bit of the dirt, which is now mud, on the outside of that corner.
Yeah, he went a little wide through there. That's not going to help him in this Cadman catch that he is attempting at this stage in the race. And again, this is the war to be part of the shootout this year.
You can't afford to make a mistake on this track, which is very difficult in the wet because it's just lined, as you can see, in cement walls. There's Doug's father, Art Beatty, and he doesn't look too happy at the moment.
I'd ask Doug someday why, in fact, he's Doug Beatty Jr. and Dad is Art. It's quite a story.
Back with the leaders now. There's third place, number 45, David Empringham. And way back in fourth spot, still trying to get around Richard Roy, is car number 2, Rob Fellows. He's on the inside.
Oh,
Whoa,
oh,
boy, well, that's one way to do it. If you can't find a hole, make one, which is exactly what Rob has done in this instance.
I think Richard suddenly got the hint, and Mr. Waugh has let Rob get by. He certainly has been hanging in with these leaders, though. Mind you, they've got a whole contingent here cheering the gang from Rivieres on in this race ball.
Look how much ground Rob Fellows has made up already. As soon as he got past Richard Waugh, he has started to pull out. Now he's got to catch David Empringham. We can see Empringham a long way ahead of him.
Now camera swings around, and look at this. We watch Lapsevich go off the steep road. He stays away from the sand piles, but in fact, young Jeff Lapsevich brings it around. He's running well back in the field, Paul, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle for him to even finish well today.
Well, he lost a spot. He's now back in the 14th. There's our leader, number 34, Robin Buck. The two Moto Masters cars, Richard Spinard and David Empringham. Slower lap car, number 90, John Kyle Jr., and then back to number 2, Rob Fellows, who is gaining rapidly. Look at that big slide. Whoa! Oh, that must have caused a couple of missed heartbeats. He just caught the car before it hit the wall. Look at how much he's sawing away on the wheel here, trying to hang on to it. He is really working hard. He's determined to catch David Empringham.
It's worth getting back in car with Rob at this stage. Now he seems to have settled down one more time, but boy, there was a brief moment of panic there, or concern, I guess.
He's through turn 1 very cleanly. Look at this. He's not sliding at all. He's got control of the car. He realizes that to catch Empringham, he's got to be very smooth in these remaining laps.
Rob Fellows needs a good finish here at Rivieres to finish well in this season of racing. So the number 2 Sunoco entry steadies out. Gets a little more serious now with the race speeding of catching up with these race leaders. And here is our leader, Robin Buck.
And it's raining lightly again. Here's the gap back to Richard Spinard in second place and his teammate Empringham sitting in third spot. Robin Buck has really done a fine job in these last few laps to pull out a lead. Look how far ahead he is. Now look at Rob Fellows. He's coming on really strong. He's catching David Empringham.
David is by. There's our race leader again, Robin Buck. The Pringles team ecstatic. He does so well in the rain, proving that it is not a threat to him at all. Again, we've got to watch this action with Rob Fellows. Number 2 appears to be getting some ground with each corner they go by, Paul.
Boy, he loves running close to that wall. It's amazing. There's Robin Buck down the front straightaway. Last lap sign is out.
This is it. So Robin breaks diving into corner 1. The Motomaster team are through safely, and there's Rob Fellows.
Fellows really closing on David Empringham. We have to watch now in these last few corners. They've got less than a lap to go, heading towards corner 2. There's our leader, Robin Buck, in car number 34. And it started to rain again. We can see Robin Buck has his windshield wipers on. Jim, he's done a remarkable job in this race.
Really has. He hit that runoff road, dropped back, way back on lap 7. Since then, he's managed to regain his ground on Fellows, Empringham, then Spinard. Regained the lead on the 17th lap, so within 10 laps, he's made an amazing comeback to the front of this field, Paul.
And he's done it in the rain, which is a remarkable accomplishment when you consider this track is really only one lane wide when it's raining. And all the time it was starting to dry out, the dry portion was only the width of one car. And Robin Buck kept it on the dry portion. He's done an amazing job today.
2 corners left for this man, Robin Buck, and he's got a victory at Rivieres. Don't ignore Rob Fellows and his work a little further back in this field, though.
There's Robin Buck, number 34. One more corner to go for him. Let's go back and have a look. Look at this. David Empringham has Rob Fellows all over him. They're in the final corner. Fellows on the outside. He squeezes through all 4 wheels right off the track. He actually didn't go through that corner. He cut it straight off.
Checkered flag for Robin Buck, his second victory of the year.
Well, I'm sure with Rob Fellows in third place, that pass will cause some controversy.
In fact, the fastest lap of this race, Rob Fellows on lap 25. In the final standings, good to see Joe Lapsevich Jr. ending up 10th overall. We're back with a replay of Robin Buck's crew giving him the big Pringle wave at the end of the race, and Paul is with the winner.
What made the difference? You started to pull out from them the last 10 laps?
Just want to put some distance on it and then back off and just make it really easy in the last 5 laps. That's what I was able to do. I didn't want the pressure because some parts of the track were very greasy and slippery, and that's why I fell back. Because if I'd hit him, I'd be testing the limit, and I go over the limit, and I'd, you know, fall behind a car or two. And
How bad was it on the dry weather tires?
it was pretty slick. It was like on ice sometimes, and it was just like we went through 1-3 all together, and we just sort of you could feel the other guy's fender, and you feel the other guy's fender, and we played pretty cool.
Rob Fellows came back in a big way, fighting back from 5th place, using all the track and more to pass David Empringham on the last lap in the last corner.
Rob, what made the difference in those last few laps when you started to gain some ground? You passed David Empringham?
Well, I think I had the car to win today, and I made a mistake going by Richard and had to go off the end of the back straight, and I lost a lot of time there. I'm sure I could have caught Robin if I had gotten by Richard cleanly there. It appeared to me that Richard was holding David up a bit, and I managed to close right up and catch David at the last corner.
How nasty was it on dry tires?
It was a struggle.
After 9 races, the Provisional Series standings look like this. Richard Bernard and David Empringham are still very close. The championship will come down to the last race at Motorsport. Rob Fellows is right in there. Robin Buck gets by Kenny Wilden into 4th. Joe Lapsevich Jr. moves to within 43 points of rookie leader Chris Davies. They're fighting for Rookie of the Year honors. This series far from decided going into the final race. Well, a bit of a runaway toward the end for Robin Buck in the wet at Rivieres.
He had to fight for it, though, and it was great to see Rob Fellows fighting in those last few laps to gain 3rd place. The weather was not as much of a factor as we thought it would be since they all started on dry tires, but the track was very slippery, and it did play a major role.
A number of things boiled down to that final event at Motorsport, including our Rookie of the Year honors and the fight for that 6th spot in the shootout this year, Paul.
It'll be great.
You bet, and we'll be there.